we ask the political scientists the implications are a war as a major opposition political party and how one more are coming together to ensure say on mind way your democracy and your governance no stay with us. We'll tell you more surely about but before that say internet all over the internet, TikTok, Facebook, Semra Boy in the western region, the Amenfi West municipality air trendy because as we speak this morning, that community in the western region is submerged within a year. The rivers surrounded that particular community. Now we'll tell you more about the activities of Galamsey. Any kwaya Galamsey are contributing to floods yehu ewa Semra Boy. More than 500 people say are displaced in that part of the country. Now the consequences say what is going to be done about this whole thing. Households are who be brenano ana in the aquacotion River Tunnel. Anafe River Semre is doing a lot of devastation. Ninginano is as a result of some level of Galamsey activities in that part of the country. Stay with us. Na yen try yen share videos way Emra. Yaba will get onto the lines with a reporter in Semra Boy na yeneno Eddie and Komo. Now a lot is happening. I mean that part of the country when him say a lot of cocoa at the free hall again in the last 10 years, in the last decade. That is the biggest cocoa district in Ghana. Omoneti cocoa no pa again. Timba dodona ye nyano comes from that enclave. Enti se ye kase se anope akobani se community no akwakoshe nsuase. Then it calls for concern. NADMO together with the Western Regional Coordinating Council, the Amenfi West Municipality, the Assembly. Any team what are the things Sabria ye kase one more put in place to salvage the situation? We'll get onto the line shortly. Na yene reporter no Eddie Ho and Komo. But sanitation is on the spotlight. The executive secretary at the Environmental Service Providers Agency Ebedi and Komo and association Ebedi and Komo na ye bisase. I mean ye free and yaba bedru hey as we speak. Ghana, Yahuni die honsem no. I mean, in Sutobre, I expose you more when it comes to the issues of sanitation. And to stay with us, Minia ene me mame ama for you entry atenase dada enti mame manache na me mano akwaba executive secretary matching na bibia boko there bibia boko mejusu nchia wetie fonso etie fonso ne ya hwe form hwe ya no pe
very well
omunyina nso eje so but ma yentwa ye ho kwame yenhwe footages ne bi now ye ma a drone shot of what is happening in Semra Boy na afi wetimi ehu what is really going on say anope we ya bemu nipa na bemu penyin na onte ya then we'll tell you more about it but you better show videos no actual surely mame kwa homane so na mene Serich Endi Enkomo. Serich is a senior journalist with a Green Gold TV and then FM ewo Semra Boy. Serich otimenka good morning empom to say
Mia mejoso nyankopa dum me hoye para me chia ya hefo na etiefo nyina so
very well and okay how is the situation ewo Semra Boy yenim sa ade ache but one more ewo Semra Boy say ya no pay ya ka say no situation no on the ground no et say answer na ya bad the other issues
mina watibio na menka se ye beka se yara so say we better the first new animal war nti tibianity biano ade nya chi ya yente atenka boni bia free bia sababu ku wan katamu na pay we to one of kan ye sign is really td na make me akase ya beta.
Okay, so tell us, Edi Ankasa ana esi ya ene ye kase a lot of communities no submerged was Semra Boy.
Yo, Misa ena wasibio na san ye na yin said ye met you for a boy amanie no isu was ye pa na dugo no na isane e ba sa so nti e bi so beto bia no said ye na ye funu ye o man ni na no kamia ye say afa ba bia na wo ba ye wasa amenfi haseya eye wasa amenfi east wasa amenfi central wasa amenfi west nini bomo ewo Samra Boy no a na say ensu no to no ene ensu nsanso no de abeseno to aba beto omanfo so no titru ewo Samra Boy say wosha wasa propose say come here say Gakasi wo hono no ensu no efa ni nyina emanfo niema eseye edoso akwan dodo no na esifri say wasa amenfi die ye shede ni sebe ko tai bi papa we die efre oboasi bi twamwa be se twamwa ko bogoso toaso akota prade no efre hon mu a wasa propone ni nkuo a shisha se no ko ta we asa udano wen sa ba asankragwa na ofre body na wo banso a won shede nhunu ko ta bia wo hon mu a gese kwaba aba be dru so na gese wo de wani kira asankragwa no ntia menfi east na menfi central de kama say kwan boni de ye wo bi pa na menfi west so esara enti ama ensuo no eto ye no yina yin se enfie mu illegal mining and so di akotene ewo the titru ye wasa menfi nyina major factor no ye the fact that amanfo a fa brashe won sem ewura dotomu ene emiamia ekotu efoma gudie no eye no briskly te said ya say ye ni control bia wo wasa menfi and ni control bia wasa menfi no miensa no emu asin uyi east no a obi ani hon mo hwe obi aso wo ho sa na meka no free say enfi mu no say obi ya ade na fa obi ho a onipa no eka ho asem na obomodin so bitua na mo say ebi anipa no obenye no yi mu anase obi jaiye essence nso boni a ebetumi aba be jai ni na yesu na nanom say nkwan ye da eta no sabinom na we die nkwan na ya nyuno ama wasama mfifo nyina sabia no mpaaye efri sesa we abamu nipa ana we odikro we ohene na so wote honom na so wa wo manfo etimi aye tukofo o ma asase so because when she hang any abronti greed adufu dipe bebrebe entia o so si utrase wani wo mu enti situation no are so uncontrollable such that it is a no man's land when it comes to W'asem Yie and illegal mining. W'asem Yie West Haseya, Samra Boy empatemo hase no. Obafo no bi so fo amra ehye wo mun sam Sahara said ye maka yin hwe han adu fudipe me na men koka na yakoka ye de maka tutankuwam ena amanyo semunti no bi afra so me say oh ye no power me so mon ko ye adwuma no yentimi we are in cafe any other multi factors akabum ama eneuba sankragwa odakoto am so asankra kwa ben sa ba bia eya dakamna ne de da hofri se wona fa mrase won sam kotu fuma gudie no omu bia ni hon mo kata amna bia so nti fie kono asase no eda hon mo aya dakamna azu to no nso na tata mua mafidi bibre no akwakoye ateche is all when you check Samra Boy and over 2,000 people aye obi say tukofo wo ma ekura wo mfiri mana wo mutimu no a sahana etie Samra Boy kuro bia wo hanu including kuro no amu no efoma budi tu bia e course bia no ha obi kata amna bia so ena amna no agi ache enti nso na dorumu ena nyina akoya atecha emu groupa so ye kase nso etene a enka wo de nso na yefi kura no a nzi nka bubu se etene but the esi wo Samra Boy no eye ateche mum na etene
okay
if we say enye unhunso you see mad everybody tano ni nyina dani ateche if we so manfo bi famra so musam eto che senso iso nso ye dado to imu na nanom be free no no mo tena so ndwemu a no mo sabinum na oboa mo kwani asan nyina so na na di onipa adu fudi pani nhwe hanti onipa ya sai nso no amwa yie
okay
ye ka sai tano na kasa de aya keke ana ye wo semre a no so nso kase ba ko a da Samra Boy ha ananom express semre no ene tano no etimi na abehia mu wo baabi na ho na ema kuro we yin ba ye fe no semre aboye ebrenu mu no na kyerɛ saa nsuo mieni ebehia na ya ahomka ne ani gye nti tetefo no ya no makotetra ho na ebinum kotra ho din komo konkoni ase ebinum kura kobom kuku wo ho. So directly or indirectly, the name Semre Aboyeno came as a result of the meeting of the two big rivers, Semre and Itanono. It said ye cano, you see Sansuina and it said Semre no Adania Teche.
Okay.
River Tano Question also Adania Teche. W'asem Aboyeno in Patamu Bia, you we are that camera, and yet pothole as a way manholes and go for 82 years. Womu chichecha sompo ni ade de ho womu a good pair womu hunyaye against the good of the town. Enti ama asem no peka no akoyi nyan aye time enye de yempa ye tiefo ni ayefo achew say enko aye di nye de it's not a palatable story because say wotu wa ukrum na nipa bi afamra se womu nsam na ihwe han ni adufudi penti yen nyina ya ka bom ama fedi nso a yen no mo adane ateche dia but as asema ye ka no nheda nye sebe asema desa.
Okay, so Rich, now many workers say videos are ye show no emma ye hu clearly say within the community there's a major river body I mean a tree I presume say no a river tunnel, right?
Yes, River Tano no one side, maybe a friend no more a boy fee, just a 3 inch, but a move on a bar, a boy fee, maybe in sweaty. And he said, Obi who said, be a footbridge, be on no more, wooden footbridge. So any cover be a make up in sweaty, and maybe over 300-400 houses have been submerged by the, flooding. Na science which for Sassi and now win assassin. The Breno summer testing by plywood company or no year company no wahano. What would try a year for bridge no to so ecosisi a dying and war honum cotters or honum one more J amount for one more pay a juma a year. Into a honors are done crew cassia. But on one side, Ultra bridge no just a over a Memphis West ASM boy. In just 2 minutes, we sign bridge now. Sign our win. And we in switchy hono. Okay. The other side, can also actually fast and switchy hono. As I come a boy fee and say yes, I'm a boy fee and Casabe back and say a boy fee proper. A hona can on a Sembre no ecosiemono. In Sembre no see one other river and also a boy fee in the farm and also actually echo. If summer boy echo in Krumi, this a woman no good. Any near no echo boom and suba friend Jenny so Nafe and Bisa, River Bisa, no so aquaco boom, and W'asem Yie quine so much as all anyatre and quanta and now said Christian quanta say caneno, not ye canono. I see. It is that 2 rivers in now. Akabumwa, see after the mecano, and you soon actually do. I check if we says ocean mattress. Ubi a mattress and sui never started as a noa. Say it clear Vienna, it crack out to me who's a mattress no. Emma no ye. I see for televisions near the properties are in soon you far woman dear. You to me cry and kind and nothing to me and 2 days is here and I say, give me more own contact. That is the solid state of Asama Yie and Kome and Nano pay. It say a Casa India. Dumakuno, a workroom hano and no timber company, summer textile and plywood company. No, Womona, a fatu Moswa, and of a Biarano, Womon, when we are near Coco, near Macacra, na the Coco schools are whole boom, Honeyama, a month will be accorded that, and sorry, Danny be on Mokranoa, and so no entire fat. And sorry, Danny be brainy.
Yes, Sir Rich, I know that Kameba so a baby sound because earlier on you made the assessment say over 2,000 people are displaced. Now, in my earlier commentary, I said Well, a little over 500, but Enono Krano was underestimated. And 2000 no set year say, you know, schools say sorry no, I mean, and for baby I want to say. And what is the government authority the assembly, the Western Regional Coordinating Council, the member of parliament, any stakeholders and W'asem Yie any Amenfi West, you know, I hear so far about this particular challenge.
We are inside and now I say, study now over 2,000 people no crano. A year, estimate teacher say, what kind adults and Kasa, who say, cry about 2,000, and mark 109, Ilum and Sia, Minumiansa, and Abaku. And a boy fee, Municipal Assembly School, GHS building, no, and Yakosre. And I just say a day or month fully be a honum.
Okay.
And one other school, my Redeemer School, Prophet from Pombio Krumha, and also at school be for 1 week near, I was saying, and one of midterm. Now you tell me 4 months fully be at the Kubusa school building no more. And other schools are a war more. Samates School Complex, Mankasa, no, yes, Samates Basic School, no, for some time, no, almost students now in school, if we say. Man phone be brave no efa wo near mano e hono mkobo wo mu ga. Okay. You want sorry that any be hono mo for the past 1 week be ankwa sorry be ankwa ye because won nya ba bi no why sorry no already nipa na da hono ma kra no almost so ya sorry ni bia every day because obom pa ye say e juro be twen na obesan akọ ba bia wo. Now you make mention of the fact that you want to know what government authorities and I say be stakeholders are here. One of them, and Amakase, and Nuna in Fimu, a work room ha, or mouthful free, a chicken bench, a dino, a pay Juma, a Yina, one word Jane, Summer 16 by Plywood Company Limited. Over 3,000 people work in this company in various departments. Woma Kano, maybe Juma was Summer Texnum, it didn't so year to go for the almost better Brunuma, almost because there's a major farming community until the discovery of gold and also my economy no a boost to factor locally or some boy in the enclave. The some is no na factor no also man for name and
but so far, no, there's been no response from NADMO. There's been no response from the municipal assembly. Is that what we are saying?
And then in answer, any who say Abayura or Amenfi Atoyeha, Honorable Priscilla Yok, and so Eba Samra Boyha, a Brinum National Disaster Management Organization Director, I know what Amenfi West, Honorable Kofi, and then the 2 deputies, Christopher Bevel, and the Bapona Quandono, or Mona, you know, a year rounds, most of the time I. Will forward to you their situational report so far that they claim have been sent to the Regional Coordinating Council for forwarding to the national headquarters for, you know, perusal and consideration. Just one part. Honorable Preslayo Ba, you know, Samra Boyano, or the Lianene Anum Dia Kakra Ebaya, Omadi Ekubu Baby say Yenchema Omam Fone Wokono. Mattress or the buy near 100 we say pieces mattresses. Of students' mattresses. If you say any panokra nya baby and na, and our day bundles, a year 2 bundles of treated mosquito nets by so I say unya enkunya and 9 crazy joint now to me the net no a fashion as unya mattress no the 2 asia who to me abo waja kakra at the free say ebinum da pete mu a say so to agise almost rescue them for summer ventilation near there that's also a problem. Okay. Apart from that, the member of parliament for W'asem Yie say Honorable Erica Fall, the chair of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Education, Development and Economy. Now, also Assembly C, you know, and Honorable President to say na owa manone. The bus anunti na was premprenumuno or sumana omodi 200 pieces of student mattresses no eba na fe wode treated mosquito nets no so bakumako and 9 out team wa fancy bia kwase mu 2,000 that and I say bia 500 cry you are able to cover as many as you know possible. Many of the people are one more aka ejamuno.
Okay.
That is just what we got. And yes, a couple of free. Aburuchiri said the canono Ababidru Takradia any or in any constituency not free. And Yema what to turn also food items, toiletries near the no, what they and also Ebeba now or in the month for no Ababiji and Komo. My first municipal assembly and also Bayano, but say apart from that 100 mattresses on the buy any food items, no, one more machi now, my sign Ababu. And when Intel say Honorable Joseph Nelson, Western Regional Minister, one more LDP, Wasa Audia, if you say, na Western Regional Chair of the NDC, Chair to Cook na W'asem Yie Koso. And I'm summa all the W'asem Yie 3 MMDCs for that matter, because I'm in West Municipal, I'm in East Municipal, I'm in Central District. Woman, any but if you could share apart from maybe official report and now modi kono. This was as a one-on-one meeting. We are taking advantage. The information I got was that the regional minister has given 3 days interval. Say one impunity. Now one slow videos no be ascertain news items no be. Now Sankregwane Samra boy the creator. Opportunity na waba. And the friendly muse enkusi be a juada. And now saying we should be able to hear from the Western Regional Coordinating Council.
Okay.
Now, if I say, be Honorable Joseph Nelson, no, means somehow kind of be or the year Juma. That's just a no so the other back and now say, and no, basically, we cannot easily predict, but we are just hopeful that the Coordinating Council led by the Regional Minister will also be coming to Samraboy. This time, not Macedonia, but this time to Samraboy and help.
Okay. Now, the very last one, na menewo area no, illegal mining no say ye kase eguso ayekoso, right? I mean, across the municipality.
Across the municipality, yes, 100%, yes.
Okay.
Even though at a point in time, even during the past administration, the setup of Galam Store, Operation Vanguard, and the rest, no extreme, illegal mining was vehemently, being practiced. There was Samraboy and Amenfi West, all Amenfis, all the 3 Amenfis, Kamea said that is one of the major occupations, Wahama Nipanubia and Famra Council, but that's how they do it. They have no mercy for the trees. They don't have mercy for the plants and the, medicinal plants and everything. Unya fan excavator, no, they could see assassin also they are. Dreaming we fetch and find what they're fetching the baby now or all these
and we are told sir River Tano Nesono chamfine machines no to no so no and no mu yentia. I mean say ye kase clearly no River Tano no stagnant. I mean the level of a year destruction cause it to River Tando no kahubi enti na no pay ye di nkomo no Samraboy ni nyina no is underwater. A large part of the community ni nyina no ababe she ase. But the obe catch to na yemfancy will come back to you again every Monday ekono na yetimi ehom pempen so I mean authorities etimi aye adwuma no akwa kudru.
Right, let us say now the tier and no I think is a major factor because I did an expose one time and we could say over 120 machines a year to say transfer machines in the idea if go over tanono so ewo asankra mosia so.
Okay.
By then I was at Royal FM then. The morning show was there and the manager at the time. And I came to do a story about that. Sometimes society you clash with people who paint the picture to Ghanaians and say, almost society, but inwardly they are against the society.
Very well. Sir Rich, I don't pay Mame Nawase. I'm highly grateful for your time. Bonia TV, any media general in Nano, that when you team my Green Gold that say we'll come back to you again within the week for other substantial report. Why? Nyamin come home and then take precaution. Na bon hobain. So we wish the people well, and as well we sympathize with you. Nyamin show and pay.
So thank you to Nia TV. Thank you to Nia.
Very well. And Sir Rich, a journalist with a Gringo TV, and speaking to us now. When you a very clear picture, and they were who on social media, no, and AI. This is a community in the Western region. Now, Semra Boy has become very popular because of Chairman Woon to me, and a Tano Numre Forest, and a course so in time past. Now, as we speak, the fact still remains in Try, Galamsey, in that municipality, in that area, a Tuon Try, a Gusua Air Koso. Now, the effects. And some of the implication, no, and pay now we'll show you more videos. They now will share no a little bit of it. You remember more detailed videos. I mean, they did drone extra any the where. I mean, devastation, no, before the entire community set Nipa 2,000. And they omoni baby womobeda na aban enyanti measures be quite an unfortunate one. But clearly, this is the situation in that part of the country. Mabeja for no atinase ama ofori entry executive secretary at the Environmental Service Providers Association, ESPA, Watina say, Mame Mano Achi once again, na me Mano Akwaba. Ama, good morning once again.
Good morning, me Johnson.
I know what Kasa den kakra, mami.
You Martin.
ESPA for who
Oh, yeah, who
okay, maybe I'm so fine.
Why wouldn't you say, Ceciane, if you not Dory Cronin teenager, and a pin.
Yawaha.
Wow.
Very well. Mami Emma, the executive director, Ura Benjamin Insia, or executive director at the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, SEMSE. Ben, Machiano pay. Na enema muboko de. Okay, Dr. Jonathan Asante-Ochiri, executive director as well, African Institute of Strategic Studies as well. He's a political scientist. NPP Nkombo, he will help us understand it. He's a senior lecturer as well with the University of Cape Coast. Doc, good morning.
Good morning.
Bibia Boko, UCC Boko there. Very well. Now, the Honorable Member of Parliament at the Upper West Akim on the ticket of the NDC, the Honorable Emmanuel Dra Ache na Memano Akwaba. He's as well a member of the Economic Committee in Parliament. NT Anope Semra Boyfu Hieska at the solve situation. I hope say Honorable Betimi Abuaye. And the chairman of the committee is the member of Parliament for the constituency San Komwe Ninano Ekoso. Honorable Parliament Boko the constituency to saying
Parliament Boko consensus so Boko Banya Boko sa Yedruva Yebechiri.
Okay, very well. So I don't pay mitima many or more din common mabija for no any ma yena was more join here live on our Facebook page, YouTube, and our face so on DSTV and our Go TV and I pay yenda mwase all 16 regions no unya live ewo unya TV. So we need the speaker, but I'll start with Amma. Currently, you say a lot of issues now and SCC, especially buying way buy issues about sanitation and some waste management companies government of Ghana said say any contract with some of the waste management companies, but generally ESPA as an association no mami NTO now in the last few months of the NDC and President Mahama no what is really happening within the sanitation sector?
You medawase. We did the sanitation sector and send our money no. Nanka and municipal assemblies in Nanka Ebe Juman.
Okay.
By ya Beshemra into the running and Jumaya environmental sanitation policy. I can see public private partnership.
Okay.
It's based on that and the policy in the crime at least 80% of the work should be outsourced to the private sector.
That is in terms of managing the waste.
Yes,
you know?
and in the private sector, EBD waste management. And yani aban ananti aye juman for fair fache. Into your contracts different with aban.
Okay.
To make us say when you say the door to door franchise contracts. Na the akobani say ejumano sana ye kano. Eya tede bia ye kan sanitation asem na ye kasi eyesikase man kofa kasi eyesikase kape na ye pese ye kan na senna munim na nka ye pra contract zoom lion contract ba ho pra kwan no so eyiyi nwura no na saa nyanketenkete na ya yehu wo kwan ho no ya underestimate no couple to that no so no unim say ya attitude when it comes to sanitation no crowd enye mpo dida enti no as a ensure toy no mo fa mo cameras ni nyina ye di adanse say de koyo ni nyina eye nwura enti nka ye die bibi fa ho a enti mam be di adanse as a gap bi abeto say Imran is not going to the appropriate place.
Okay.
Here were infrastructure challenges here so. Says here the landfills create ni in Krom ha. Ye far greater Accra metropolitan area ye gaman kra. Ye ni landfills biawa ha. This say your call tema. Anazi your call adipa. You enu danching. Nanka ye wo transfer stations. Miangazana last Saturday. Meko for frame meko ni ye wo former and na informer.
Okay.
In the informer for ne they they drew my attention say I feel the omunya baby into ball and go na then na ekoni ye ya fa ho. Na miss kind say nyam na me kazi na motugu transfer stations. Inti me angaza me tie adwuma no 2 weeks ago na me hu say na transfer stations kra wo krom nyina enye adwuma.
But again, enye adwuma waka say within the Gama area, which is the Greater Accra metropolitan area, right? There ought to be landfill sites. Maybe yes, a sub-baller near there, you bet to egu. Now, generally, me pesi you bet limiting common so to and crime because again, you who say other part of the country, Koforidia, Kumase areas ni be bring so air flooded.
Obia Huaka,
exactly. And then
Huaka, Kamaleni baby matisa ni de bad, but it's not as bad as it is.
Okay.
Even Eastern region is also very bad. The members now
keep question so sir.
Me members now hono amoma me heads up crack catch me say ama wo kasa ye nyina na asam na atuen.
Okay.
Because aprapra ni ejai wo be bia. Nti abedan edi. Say na ya make an sanitation science management. And I no udisika shema and yes obehunu on to say
pray na umfaso
aba brodo why exam na we hu brodo sanitation ejuma sister.
Okay.
Sanitation science management and na sena include other including nyina omuchiase no they have all done it and they have been successful. It is done and we don't need to reinvent the wheel because if we do not manage the value chain properly, from point of generation, collection, treatment, and final disposal site, you're right, I will never get it right. And then, watch again, as I say, I'm ready to pay for the actual cost of collection, the transport and treatment. Into all the service providers need to be paid per tonnage, per collection. Okay. That is the good practice everywhere. And again, even with the street sweeping now, it should be done 24 hours. And yes, all other countries are good practice. 24 hours, the streets are being cleared, the filth is being removed. Into Abai as supporting private sector. Good initiatives have been done with government. I wouldn't lie to you. But what has been the gap? The gap is the sustainability of all the existing facilities. And in addition of us getting even more, especially we need landfills and transfer stations in all the regional capitals to support the value chain. Then it can be done effectively.
Okay.
It's a problem.
Yes, no so na me ba because enkomo we ni enkomo me pese breaking it down ma Ghana ni bia tie now with the background I'm getting as far back as 2006, right? And Ghana buying decided say e ba no yahuni die ho nsem sanitation issues, the management of your waste, see a be proper ye be sesa baller ye be fa baller free man for fear buying any ankra companies buy into partnership, right? And then the ma kwai say I mean, other individuals bet me for me waste management companies now money are buying according to contract. Is that the case?
Yes.
Okay. And say yeah, can say what association now we executive secretary a association made for companies are going to waste management system right? Okay.
A association of private waste contractors.
Okay.
And these private waste contractors, companies, me were I can see a formal ones.
Okay.
And yes, I were informal.
Okay.
And the informal for Nena Abobo ya for the Kaya
Abobo ya for na esesa baller no.
Okay. Kaya who sashay water pickers Kaya scrap dealers Kaya and no more e-waste. On some more crackers, no money, no more
toilet. No, excuse me to say.
And toilet for no so kaya. And yeah, were 2 times. There were union drivers. No.
Okay.
And I yes, I work out owners, and this is ever honor. A konusu. You won't conform with your landfills. You won't conform with your transfer station. You were recyclers.
Okay.
A kaya. And I yes, I will conform with your hazardous waste.
Okay, all right, and that is it. Now, Mamimra Benjamin in so, but Mami Emra was so because Amma is just giving us the opener. Now, I was trying to understand Kwanya Yafaswa. I mean, you're making some level of investment in the environment and sanitation sector in time past. Now, as a case study, say you 2017 to 2024 this is what the record says. Now every year the budgetary allocation you devote for sanitation. In 2017 President Akufo-Addo Abayeno devote 150 million Ghana cedis. Now the purpose was to establish dedicated sanitation ministry and its sanitation campaigns one more ebeye. In 2018 budget increase for sanitation, waste management, public education, and sanitation enforcement. That was the purpose in tier. You increase it from a year 150 million Ghana cedi to a year 205 million. 2019, yes, I increase waste management and our sanitation. I mean budgetary allocation. Greater Accra sanitation improvement program and a landfill management. And to say the Ama boss in 2019 the purpose was that you develop a lot of landfills, maybe a bit me a ball and and we devoted a budget of 258 million Ghana cedis. So the question is that maybe a better ball should not be a problem, because if say you was say you be criteria. Why is it say you have a such situation? 2020 COVID-19 sanitation became very important. Ghana buying a devoted 340 million Ghana cedis. Now Enono was for the purposes of COVID-19 hygiene response program, hand washing, disinfection, and then waste management. So this was the main purpose of that particular year allocation over 340 million Ghana cedis. 2021 you increase the budget to 450 million. Now Aban realizes say there ought to be a deliberate policy, because now households, if you feel be toilet end, so now SSA Aban start to say OCC toilet for households, any public institutions. We devoted 450 million Ghana cedis for household toilet, institutional latrines, and then environmental health services. 2022, the budget again increased from 450 million to 517 million. And the Gamma project. So Gamma project, the Greater Accra metropolitan area, you really call the Greater Kumasi metropolitan area sanitation project school toilet facilities buying a proposal here. Now 2023, government of Ghana increased budget for sanitation from 517 million to 620 million. So what it means is that from 2017 consistently every year you increase budget for a year sanitation purposes. Now what is their purpose? Solid waste management, household latrines, landfill re-engagement or re-engineering. And these were the purposes for the increment. Even before the New Patriotic Party, Efra Bayemono, 2024 budget I allocated here was 780 million Ghana cedis. What was the purpose? Environmental health, liquid and solid waste management, and as well sanitation infrastructure. So I mean, OSHA background, as I mean, compared to other years, continuously in the last 8 years, what did this year every year biano budget on sanitation ecoso. Yet the improvement we are not really getting that impact. Ben, Mami Tio on this as a year. A CSO, you deal with environmental issues and the related challenges are a environment no emo.
Now 2025 does it mean I'm interested in
I just wanted you to have a background information, but I'll give you that shortly. Ben Mamintio.
Jojo, Dr. Santi, and Honorable MP, so I think that our conversation is one of the critical conversations I will say within our environmental management landscape. And Meda was say one chance here or the Abba. Media, what had the course within the environmental space recently is very bad and very appalling because Anka my be fladia and now say my benya these perennial occurrences here. Now I was say Anka rainfall pattern very stronger between 70 millimeters or use rain gauge now. But in 7 millimeters sometimes less. Now almost about be flooded. It means that your drainage systems are choked. And it also raises questions. Sikana yedia kuhuni no. I didn't know resolve this particular historical challenge once and for all. Dabia mekama say normally it's not the resource allocation, but the utilization of it, efficient and effective utilization of it.
I am Mauchi in
okay. Dabia mekama say enye se sikana yedia kohono. Nemo mse ni ebe use sikana. And I say, Yedi was a fata, and I said, yes, say, and they contributed to some of these challenges. Beyond that, no, so no, a year, senior, ye ma the citizenry, and I say, man for no participating in the management of our environment. Most of the times, there is that conflict between the state policy, the implementers, and actual contributors of the policy. Do we say a buying shisha, different or more also implementing shisha almost doing different beneficiary or otherwise or victim of shisha or not doing different. Sometimes because of information asymmetry and lack of awareness or no beneficiary and as a victim no nim krase bibisa behano right then so cause a problem. So what it also means is that previous governments and maybe probably this government continuously pushing resources into managing sanitation.
Now again, before I went to us, so Doc was asking for 2025. Now figures for 2017 to 2024 is different because when him said that period yet a whole ministry for sanitation. No, I'm coming to that now. Currently under the restructuring, yet the aqua share the local government asset, right? So as of last year, 918.1 million Ghana cedis was devoted to a year that ministry. Now again, figures are mebubo suni and separate from the common fund guidelines nenso eka. Onim said the district assembly's common fund about 10% are devoted for sanitation related issues as well. Now you come to 2026, Parliament approve approximately 1.4 billion Ghana cedis for Ministry of Works and Housing. Say omobetimi edia ensure say adwuma ese omo ye no omobetimi dia ye, especially flooding a very key component as to the reason here Parliament a devoted sika no e de ma ministry no to so na mentio
to make come as no na make us sometimes beneficiary or victims of state policy no sometimes because of say omuni nimdie bi no and contributed to management of our environment because of omuni nimdie omuni But the other side, also the policy aspect. I've also realized that, Kwame, there's no policy consistency at the state level with respect to institution and also coordinating proper waste management in Ghana.
Okay.
If I know Wessenhausen doing say Najuma, and I quite remember say Ebrana Honorable Asenso Boachiwo Ibisano about your flooding issues in Accra. He really said to me, as of flood now we needed about $5 billion to be able to solve it. If I know local government say ni wa can DACFE, doing say Najuma, I also making sure say environment safe.
Because here the Akosha assemblies
okay. If I know sanitation, no Kaikra in 2021, in one of the amendments of an Act of Parliament, he introduced sanitation and pollution levy, which is I think around 10 pesos per liter on fuel in 2021, and also commitment and be a buying war so sanitation, and also no or the kosher sanitation assay that ministry assay.
Yeah.
So at the policy level, no, that inconsistency, lack of integration of all these agencies, no, and also create a problem because we are on responsibility. We doing say we never saw it. We should be doing say we never saw it. The way anya na a problem, and that is why I think that President Kufuor saw it. Why say some agencies need creative problems. Let's get private sector participation.
Okay.
Then hand over this mandate to the private sector, knowing well say you hand them a private sector now. You be a supervisory agency be say oh supervisor no nya W'asem Yie, being a regulator of the system. And over the years, who say private sector no why na Juma papa. You have these challenges anyway, but I think that in all the private sector has been critical.
Okay, the waste management companies.
Waste management companies, private ones, are critical in solving most of our waste management challenges in Ghana. Right? Because from the time of President Ali Mahama started this indiscipline campaign, bins across everywhere, from the times of sweeping, using Hannah Obejonso, Kai those days, Ali Mahama indiscipline campaign, and the bins, those days you could see bins everywhere. Maybe Krom Kintampo now call 1 meter biana who been because the private sector was really involved because also President Kufuor philosophy he said the biana will say it was a private sector they were everywhere, and this private sector invested in infrastructure, right? They invested in logistics.
A company like Zoom Lion, for instance.
Zoom Lion, for example, invested in logistics. They invested in human capacitation, training. Right, and I think even Zoom Lion established a waste management school.
University. I think that's all. Right.
That's all. So, like to capacitate the personnel now, I was so share the whole supply chain or value chain, whatever you call it, in terms of value addition or recycling of this waste. Almost so big training obi aye na juma na yetumi ama system clean, and I think they've done so well. Just that challenges kakra ebeba because human institution biano. You may not get it best. Now, the problem you're facing with small amount of rainfall, actually say we've actually not evaluated the benefit of the private waste collection, including Zoom Lion and others, against the cost the state was incurring.
Okay.
In the proper cost benefit analysis, we jumped into conclusion that the state
okay.
Right? But say or my that's a World Bank spending almost $300 million. So, or the sanitation projects in most of your major metropolis. Now, still, who experience flooding at this stage, it means that sometimes suspension of contracts be an aware, and can relax kakra, running cost benefit analysis be anchor on suspending some of these contracts. Because I always say that. Do the assemblies have the infrastructure? I don't think so.
And the capacity?
Do they have the logistics? I don't think so. Do they have the human resource capacity in terms of managing waste? Maybe, but right? What private companies here, including Zoom Lion and others are? I think they've committed themselves because they've committed themselves. Say say dwuma we na ye nti we say ye ni, and periodically they appraise themselves looking at their shortfalls and addressing these shortfalls. Ne minua me fie menya private collectors bi and on beje me waste previously na collectors on beje no ebinum segregate waste, plastic different, organic different, whatever waste also different, because plastics need some of the organic no yet recycle. And I think others have even built compost plants to put these into the blue economy. So say informal person aba, maybe probably only training. Aba mi fie. Even assembly cry the same thing. Aba mi fie, oba ye no, waka ni nyina bom. Oka ni nyina bom no mi nua ba e ka say landfill size ni ho. But maybe private sectors ni be building or more personal like institutional landfill size are ultimately product bola nko. Waje anajo, sometimes I see some of them anajo awadano ohu gata bia no ahwiagum. Right? Because oniba bia odeko. No ahwiagum. Ohwiagum a na achoku gota no. Anka echoku gota no say you will contract with these private enterprises our waste management more. Anka the next morning you be from say umbe dredge gutters no. And they used to do it. Yembeti gata nim. Ne ya suspend the contracts be or maybe revoke some of the contracts. So these private persons now was omukoti gota nim, omunti gota nim. These are mitigation measures. Omunti nti on timu no. Omkrofoni hwe bola ni gum fi ko gata nimu a gata nimu echoku no. Nso to kakra bi a e wo se yiri. E be yiri fa nipa. Yiri fa nipa no kra no say amfa nipa normally e fa nipa e na be de okroma say nso no fa nipa oh e na obi ahwere nkwa cycle disaster we raise we lost 100 and something persons but amfa nipa kra na it also has economic impact. Me bana me state be that Accra loses almost $50 million annually. Yes, Accra nkwa no $50 million annually. Ne Cape Coast me bana me video bi say Cape Coast aflade. And bro, I was told say Pedro Junction, and in the enclave, Udru Cape Coast, regional police headquarters, and any so let's cost flooding. Let's cost it. Take a flooding. Yeah. Let's cost it. Samra boy, we see 2,000 homes. With the 2,000 homes, no Koro Biamu Samra boy, I think it's a mining area. A mining area, more access level in terms of income. So measure more income based on access. Ubeko ni demo TV or yes. Ghetto blaster because mining area they will be ghetto blaster or whatever is there. You quantify these assets
and see how much
into financial resources. Nehu diomu lusu. Inti say Accra ko lusu $50 million. Kumasi lusu $50 million or probably closer to $50 million. Cape Coast lusu $50 million. Now we are buying. Now we are simulation, cost benefit analysis. I think that Ober Rashi say let's get this problem solved once and for all. Is it about engineering? Engineering, the main fan say no, you're failing because of poor urban planning. Right? Yeah, your crew no policy makers no omuni vision in planning. Until one you are failing. So when you fail in that regard, okay, maybe. Until when you fail in that regard, Kwame, the other one say you need to mitigate or adapt. Adaptation measures, sometimes some coping strategies because be a member be a metino oka say me sign see me fear no for me to me see. So the best thing is to mitigate. How do you mitigate flooding? We can only mitigate flooding by ensuring that enterprises including Zulai or more infrastructure dada logistics dada or more all the personnel managing and they will say engage you biom. No making sure say you got us now so komu kakra na achoku no yebe dredging nyina na say yebe timu nyina fina plastics no yebe managing nyina so that mitigation no say flooding beba abra so na to 24 hours enye so na to 3 minutes so dem say so I think that we are in a country we we are doctor he's a philosopher and a sociologist. We are a country of emotions and we don't use emotions to build countries.
Okay. Ben, me that say, my Dr. Jonathan Asante, your choice, doc, my intimate ones watch your should be brain.
Sunday or dog, no.
No, my intio.
My chair, Yashafo, any TF one, and a pay. I'm saying, Asamna, a did also know, or Makan in general terms, but specifically, Nanka, Asankregua.
Similar boy, dear,
all those, some days.
Last you said that you were in Accra. Wouldn't be a cause of one cry.
It is legal. Come on, Boni. What can some be brave? Now, me start free.
Summer boy,
honor. Some you can run a bar meeting. Tano
River.
And
you know, say in 2024, I did some work with that enclave, right? Yet China for an illegal mining, and I told Ghanaians, say,
only when I said,
yes.
Oh,
and I told Ghanaians, say, we should wait in 5 years, we'll get to experience it. We are the kind. Other places ninya mai don't coffee near the end of the beba we'll get to understand because prana near the end I have witnessed it, I've felt it. Makojina insu was sensu basically insu kese and kese and tinibi. And when we sit in Accra and we think say it's a joke, it is not a joke. Because here I say, doc, the issues are very, very intense. Insu is stagnated. Intimate into be yearful.
That's the law of cause and effect. You don't think because I mean me who sir I deal with say was a coupon from so where I'm saying and you be that is the evidence of the precariousness that we find ourselves. This is the epitome of evidence. Look, this is not a city, neither is it a village.
Yes.
Please, a quasi
town. Yes.
And in such places, they have their forest covered, right?
Yes.
In full capacity. They are supposed to. And so, nasa a foul mine say, it means to say, a binomo et abo, or mine abro, or sabiano. There's no other explanation. Intino, motutuam now, mine she, motutuam, I am a bisamo say, yes, Nyamiacha, this gold. Can't we do it responsibly? What prevents us? Is it so costly? Is it so costly to do responsible mining?
I agreed. And the idea say you're penning to many say a political influence.
No. Look, either these people will rise against all those people who have been doing it, because at the end of the day, all your investment is gone. You're now coming to start all over again. You go and do more than say, the effect will come. Now, when you can a private intervention near the Zoom Lion, look, I asked myself a question. Yes, we've seen Zoom Lion, we've seen other urban financing waste collectors, Abako. I'm saying Zoom Lion has really prevailed. Where do we place our value? In this country, we place more premium on the certificate of the person doing that work, because that person doesn't have much certification. Not the volume of work the person is doing on the street. How then do you attract more people to go and do that job? Because if you say one go school, meanwhile, you mana or ye or quine sooner what to go to we are not valuing that particular job. But because that person is uncertificated, on combat when the kind of modeler Zoom Lion for Edema, these waste collectors, what was the percentage in those years? I think it's a Basin Telebai no say we're increasing us today. by giving, I don't know whether it's 100% increment or 70-something% increment. We need to value the work that they are doing and then compensate them accordingly. I thought should be no. See, I see I solve this problem. I don't know. Structurally, either say we have to operate covered drains, not open. Now say me to say well about you be say what the ball go to we all report here. I'm saying Ashanti region, right? What team is a cancer? You be musika. Non pa kono so.
It's better crash. Yes, I do. Yes. Are they 200 cities?
Are they really doing it? Are they implementing it?
We have courts.
200.
Look, you made mention of you made. Let me give you a background to this. So in 2006, government of Ghana through the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the National Youth Employment Authority, the program as at then, come into agreement say mobile running a model under that particular agency. The model was called Youth in Sanitation, right? And Youth in Sanitation, you be training Crawford, you be found Crawford near training or more under that model. Omona ebe prapra any idea. Then government of Ghana enter into a contract with a year Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, right? And omo decided say okay, a bano service, I mean provisional, or no, and a beshe say or be provided the logistics. So cars, trucks, and all of that. As part of the contract, Zoom Lion was supposed to do that. Now, currently, for the whole of 2025, Zoom Lion, we are told, say the contract has been cancelled with the government of Ghana. As at the time, cancel contract, now the contract provided that every year, beneficiary BR is supposed to have 850 Ghana cedis per month, right? Now, this is the breakdown. So, buying through a year Youth Employment Authority or contract with Zoom Lion, right? Then, Omwa fan Crawford under that model, and Crawford Zoom Lion provides the logistics for them to be able to do their work. Now, this is the breakdown according to Abayan Kasa contract. Beneficiary allowance, nipa now all proper, and the benefit and allowance, 258 cedis. Zoom Lion's management logistics fee, 592 cedis. So, it gives you, 850 Ghana cedis. Per person, government of Ghana is supposed to pay to Zoom Lion. Now, this is the breakdown. They tell you that Zoom Lion provides uniforms. Workers share gloves, workers share combs, management duties, brooms, shovels, wheelbarrows, and all those things. The component they're making of 592 is what I'm mentioning according to the contract. So who provide this way it is assumed say plus one kasa management everything put together 592. So this is what was the current situation. Now, a lot of advocacy by say yesisi nipana or prapran. But the concerns again and they say these fees, any fees are Zoom Lion on abonitrimae. It is government of Ghana stated contract details. So he only implements what government gives him through the contracts. Now, by report and evaluation, 2006, ABC 2014, Nipa na oprano near man 50 Ghana cedis per government of Ghana contract. Later, Omube increased to 100 Ghana cedis. And then from 2019, ABC 2022, Omu increased here at 180 Ghana cedis. Then from 2022 to 2024, Omusa increased here at about 258 Ghana cedis. So the question is that if the person sweeping here very important, Naya acknowledge Juma or ya, why does government of Ghana place that person at that particular level? Because for instance, only a buying or contract, a buying C A, you cannot do B. And the question I ask again is that why do we keep this as a secret and then state say it is a burden of Zoom Lion? Painting the picture say a Zoom Lion into W'asem Yie, whereas this is what your contract terms stating.
Speaker, let me turn the question on its head. to you. What kind of private entity also takes a contract in which is not sent a proposal for there to be an agreement between the two entities? International say, is it the case that this divisions, and I say apportioning now, they don't have a hand in it at all? Then where are they going to? Where is their profit margin? And I say, because so nipa na wo ye adwuma say infident mi nye adwuma nya na nipa na wo ye adwuma is not properly motivated. You don't expect that the person is going to give of his best. And in the current state of affairs, say we did 250 cities a month, and you are telling me say that person is supposed to survive on that. And on non-chain, logistics now, they are not provided on monthly basis. Say pioneer the man now within 1 month, I say 2 months, I say it cannot work like that. What I say, these are things that may go beyond a month, 2 months, or 3 months. So cumulatively, yes, cumulatively, the company is going to make money. Cumulatively, whoever entered into that kind of contract on behalf of government is definitely going to have something in his pocket. It's going to be a win-win situation. But in terms of situations of flooding, by now, the president has decided to ban this styrofoam. Or ban it taking effect in January. I think he should do better than this. Look, in Canada, now your co-marketer in Suone Ukukum no moton caps sisiso. Ukwa we use car na yeshwebi e dey amano wan na enyunu. Health issues came up. Them say no, we should do better than this. Na the penny e buy. Mublo no mo hwensu no na fridges as aba. Na me no say so do wonu mu frama e de begu we mu dey enye healthy. And a day sachet water e dey buy. En kan na e marketer. No, there was not like polythene bags. Yeah, kotomaka me jina market secret to be maminana. Paper bags. And our mom go dijano. Yeah, the mom no mako omotoa no mo di omudwa di egum. So these were biodegradable what products materials. Or materials. Here is the case. If we say we are what civilized, and yet develop different types of polythenes, and all of this. I am driving na me chop na me jina. Osha bush ni mo empty bottles.
Na de da hosa.
Achisem na mbisa say na sa obi ante ha. Ente dan na sa ni mo nyina ehye bushes ni mo. What is wrong with us? Because obi tika mu car na kwa na wanu nso wie no on fan to car no na say nipa no gina o makre no ato abontene. You know this thing is not going to decompose today or tomorrow. Why do you do things like that to ourselves? And only I say in discipline into know this human role, right, in the degradation of the environment must be tackled once and for all. China President Bube about a friend saying on passe by to say Buapete na in so no ta or no so or tell me die. And so then he goes back to normal life. This is something that we must work on, as human beings, not as Ghanaians, as human beings. Our existence, our survival depends on some of these things that must be done right.
Okay.
What share allocations are? Previous government allocated here, and still we're having all these challenges. As you said, is it about the right application, or these were just mere allocations to fill the budget, and that they were not ideally what allocated? Because maybe your komua Saskia Bobo Dia Kasiakasi, Ebia, and you know the ministry no, because no budget no, Ebia no one need in full. But finally, you say, some of these assemblies they are not well resourced, which is true. But there is no state institution in this country that is adequately resourced. It is a matter of priority.
Okay.
It is assembly if we say environmental maintenance, and I said the gradation for you, no need a priority. They would then allocate more of their resources into those areas. So I'm saying, any na ekum crofo, essay environment, essay insuno, and I had the priority of the assembly. Obviously, they will devise means by which they will be able to solve that.
Okay, but Doc, may I say again, honorable. So now, what we need to know is that, say, as part of government arrangement, Sikabia and Anka, for instance, a Zoom line or Hono, the local government minister has said, say, in the last 1.5 years, say, someone discussed Keninano at the assemblies, no, plus the 10% of common fund and also allocation, SSA assemblies, no, use for sanitation works. So what it means is that every assembly is supposed to employ their own people, or mobile proper. Every assembly is supposed to have the logistics, obey as a same. So the question again is that in the last 18 months, sanitation ababe issue in the country. The question is that who is to be blamed? But Mamembra Honorable Drasso na mintieno, because this conversation is very important and very sensitive. My fear is that cholera outbreak. It's been a very long time. I say Sanya money BSC Ghana in time past. But recently, they were near my AC hair corner. If we are not careful as a country, just about 2 weeks ago, I don't know, Kwame's voice, you know why he beat me about. The local government minister was complaining. Say 18 months ni waste management companies ni be bring ejuma. Ye diskana mamo, yet ejuma na esese mo ye no as assemblies no muntimi nya ejuma no. So where do we go as a country? Obo, pacha baminti on that.
When you am that say na minchia wa hwefo ni wetiefo nyina em say dwuma ya ye die enne nsema APP no ye nsema ehuhia ye yie pa na de edikan na obisa say parliament say bibia eboko ewo ho endra kra na ye bill bi ho adwuma ye do the consideration stage next week and so endra minority deputy majority leader making it clear next week a lot of ministers will be coming to the house to answer questions, even including works and housing, finance, energy, Ghanaians, update be so far on where we are. Na meantime for akonye isu na menda company na womo Samra boy hona womo
Samatex timber company no. Yes.
That is
the biggest timber company in Ghana.
Oh, okay.
Timber
quick intervention in the matter because say the woman ama baby a man crofo aduane ni ade na megidi say say going forward nothing yetimi enhance yen local content framework na geared towards corporate social responsibility programming in some of these international companies operating within our local areas. And also the government effort to curb this situation. You
true speaker said, what has been the role, the social responsibility role of Samatex until this disaster?
Okay.
Because over the years. Don't think, say, and also doesn't have environmental effect. But some woman, Kualano, people who are doing any idea. My late mother would tell you, Gentleman Kumba policy.
Almost everything I was Semra boy, I can tell you for a fact, say, Samatex nay.
And to say, I just said, I'm saying for no more say,
more quiet crowd, more fossil in a very bad state. A quite be brain in that enclave. Semra boy nature. They make sure say a more trouble. And even though quota near there anyhow, but so much me no crano is through the help of Samatex. And jobs are more critical. Over 3,000 people who work within the company, no. Let me say about 1/3 is from the community. So I mean clearly no. They've done a lot.
But Mama Kanchao said that place is also a cocoa producing area.
They are the highest cocoa producing district.
Thank you.
In the whole of Ghana, in the last 10 years.
Are buying over the years.
Yes.
Over the years. Cocoa are more to the Abua. The income, the revenue generation of the amount to me and more Samiano. Look, Honorable.
And see, back to say they are not can I say my boss on the court train about so say some of these things must be enforced. The interest how will they contribute to the development of areas now one kasa moye juma on intimate sure say going forward and see it minya matrix be I measures and no now at the end of the day taxes say be a company we tria for 2025 in the year and now CS RS measures in Niamananka contributions yet meet value nanka and no cry to me alpha socrana a binary so amount incentives be as far as taxes are concerned inti Mejidi say it will actually enhance the development in those areas. But let's come back to flooding na sisiano aji bebia afia akwakoye asemi krampo ayeka galamse ho asemi speaker wonim say niam bi koso wo man yi mu a ya na mpempi no ye wie pe ye twa yeni e de akwakohwe aban ene mrahye bedwafo anase yen a ye wo aban mu de bia na meka say yesi ye fight niam bi say ya enye aban ni po wo say ye timemufo ni nyina ka ho bi e na ye nhihye say yen stop galamse speaker ebe ya W'asem Yie say we some of these videos sometimes we go ya cause I akwakoye monitoring a check bibia na sa anti galamse yi ewie no na anajo na ma kona wo mo ye kra wo de wo ya de bone ne kra de nwanwane say obi asanso afa phone na otwa na ka say Ghana for mo de mo hwe ye tuewu na wanya sa kukuru we na wo ye we enso ho na wote sisi wuna nsuo eyiri wi a sisi a wunya baby mfi all the money you have made ni nyina sisi akora se wo be kwa de be china sika fan nsuo afa sika no kora se be e de kwe eno nso so wahu na at the end of the day no yemfa nkogu aban so na my brother kasa no okay bibi se yetu ade ne sa ye jaho studies have shown that womu ye ade na no me jaho sa na amuna na edidimu sa na efedi nsuo no de ye frɛ no me se womu kase me reclamation ni ade womu nye no me jaho.
In fact, Honorable, I have come across companies yamma womu reclamation contracts. Yet obekono no mo cry galamsey.
Okay. So
yes. And I'm telling you so because when it comes to galamsey, I'm in media church. Again, this week when who say Gold Board say Omone Ghana Armed Forces, any other agencies about together, omokoye reclamation.
38 million or something.
The best look, some of these things, look, we have followed it for a very long time. There are companies, it was even a World Bank project. Say money forestry commission, money reclamation. Mo kata manani suria forestry commission beba be duanua. It got to a point baby ayakata manani sukura ye dua manano. Those who were supposed to do reclamation were doing mining.
Or Fabronya Hwari akoko. But let me just use this short opportunity to assure Ghanaians.
A political will.
You going forward, Sanyama we contrast in
communities crumple. Some of these from say 9 months a day. Obitu come communities crumple kasa omompele. Some did say Jumamba be.
Na say champagne asema mo ken. Wo mo di bi beto yen aye nso no so. That time na honorable Bekwin Esifo. Na ye impossible wo. Anajo ba ko ade achi na wapam mo nyina akọ. And my boys and so they rallied behind him and then we sacked them. But says and said the idea be see on and shana say yanka never wha but then American say America simbi graph mo say going forward and say contract as same way what the contract say corner kokoye reclamation now wa fetch na fedie udi too gold says and why na udi na bro
gold board asema speaker in Kabeya Omuma a live feed of the area now. Omupa some year reclamation. That's
right.
So that we have then now.
Okay.
It is somewhere we are near unu say the same way no mu chair say mukwa kudi say adwuma no. Sa adwuma no mu di na no nie. This is the reclamation, the effect of the reclamation.
Okay.
Speaker, when say enna na America na say na ma yenyina ye ni ekọ ne maybe ho hwe kra last sitting kra ye pass bill be on value for money office bills so be sha a chese ebe monitor sa niema we won sore mbeji contract dia na wo koye is there value for money for what you are doing for the state nti sa niema we nyina ya measures are ye put in place ye de be but back to a flooding na biom no that time we so ye nyina ye te ase se insua this year basically a year record kra ye nwie ye na me say a door so chen last 2 years me say in the phone no how can be 7 millimeters previously or say 10 millimeters and sun I will say na just a drop kra until going forward no me sure say there are measures to but yenhwe bibi se eba ne sa na se na MP wo he DC wo he nano ya bridge ebu wo mi kuro
mo an ye beso afre mo se mo share yebo
you ba na me chire bibi mu akosi bibi so me say bridge ebu wo mi kuro eye nana ye nso no ebu kwa banya no bridge kese pa che se wo trape eye kwanyas ne kwa banya no asinia haya wo mutwa pa se bridge nebu na no kro mo chro BC kura na they were not able to ye through nkolani bi ebi so kofa abodwase ansa na eba ebi mudu okura na the paper had already started intina eya sefem recently 9 months ni ye koye engineering studies ewo ho an assessment to procure that for rehabilitation of the Mipum junction to Kwaban Nyanwa, where we share boundary with central region.
Okay.
Na me make be mini engineers and in call ye. You do honomusi bridge na se check bibia said no, the bridge is okay. The reconstruction of that bridge is not part of that project, which is under consideration. Sisi akura ewo feeder rules are ye bo humpa ye say ye benya commitment authorization approval nanka. Oma ye procurement no. Ena insuo yiri ye ya akwa kofa bridge ni nyina akura di.
But I hope say o constituency name on sanitation issues, right?
A lot. I'm coming there. I'm coming there.
Your time,
yo, just 3 minutes. I'll wrap up. Enti no ye idea ekoso na mesre se Upper West Achim for any hwepo nyina abotre maye, because you can't just use 1 week to start bridge works or a lot of studies will have to go on what actually caused the collapse and all those things. Engineers nako see a bridge for so ebeba mande inti so almost where me say abotre kakra community nankasa I improvise some kubedua ne nya maybe at least okada na yi ni betimi afa so nti yesre na wo mo hwe man and na afin so speaker ma menka sa asem we kire onim say 2017 company bi ba krum ha from Temador Systems.
Okay.
Among the local government ministry then ebe ye arrangement bi se nka CC toilets afa Ghana nyina through the district assembly. Krama emma the then local government minister no emma authorization approval ye Kenya like consent of the government to work with the various municipal, metropolitan and district assemblies. Emma, they advertise some of these things. Graphic movement. A lot of people, contractors went into it to kind of pre-finance the project. We are to about 70%, 60% degree of completion. Sanitation, you are 24-seater toilet, more than one pa. If you are baby, 20. District Bia will be Ewo Ghana Hasi. Sadiene Eyama. Ebeye said when people saw that the whole ministry is backing that arrangement.
Initiative.
Yes, which is a PPP approach. And said there was a time Krami make it that on the floor of parliament. Say baby obefebia minim se when ya boso that toilet go na shimurem. Na ya boso kama pa so na account murem. Na coming to 2021-22, crime say Ghana and Peninfobe Kaya ye ranking second in open defecation. Yes, West Africa or globally, I stand to be corrected. And if some of these opportunities are there, why can't we look at it and then make sure that some of these things run effectively for us to, because I deal with cholera, fight no open defecation. I mean, GD say when the mono doctor or betting actually say, and no, this if the opportunities are there, let's try and then leverage on them.
Okay. Honorable Beda said now, many Amadi Besi, I'm sure so very responded. Mama Munina Amaka so very responded to a few of more queries are more raised, especially doc concerns as a waste management company, you need to have your proposal. Ebani saying na pay attention to Omoa Air Prapra. Now, Desmond has sent him a message. Desmond said, "Good morning, Mr. Speaker. It is good you are educating your audience and educating Doc as well on the facts you put to him. Government is the one who initiates the contract. The terms favors them more than any other private waste management company. Again, what doctors should know and understand is that the sweepers only work for 2 hours a day, and they have the whole day to themselves. Within the 24 hours, they sweep for only 2 hours, and that is it. Until the next day, they do not come back to work again. So these are facts. It is only that government used it for politics, and today the issues are coming back to bite them." I don't know if that's really the case, but Amma will be able to respond for us. The question of Mutia, mo companies ni tia omo a air prapra ni sika nketenkete na companies na agekese. Is it really the case? Say mo na mo ye ni sa ana ban na ye ana because omo pra for how long? In fact,
that's me association me ye adwuma ekuro no enti no me no eba mo contract na I'm not privy
to it. Okay.
I'm not really privy to contracts no. But the meeting can say, implementation, BBI. Yet me, you can always sit back and then do an assessment, do evaluation. It is a consensus about not saying normal practice of musicasa. All government should have done was to sit down with a private service provider and review it. After all, BBI cat and stone, I can say, and no. Currently, as we speak, I know, say, it is governments that gave them those terms and conditions. But as human institution, we can always review them. Okay. So there was nothing wrong with government and the private person sitting down to review their terms and conditions. And I think going forward, that is what we need. And Yankra as an association, as a body, your crisis say yajiatum say edumana abandi mayeno essential service.
Okay.
Into your cry presa aban say and implementing National Sanitation Authority in mayen with a sanitation fund because we need a regulatory body. Into untimi fe eduma so nshe obi nsa keke na usi ye who is regulating us?
Yeah,
and the majiatum we need a regulation body. What they are saying. And then let the contracts let be open, let it be transparent, and let's get a lot more other providers on board. Oh, and right now, I know Zoom Lion has done a lot of good work. They've made a lot of investments, and they saw the opportunities and they capitalized on it, and then did a good job by investing more into infrastructure, and then they have the logistics. So all I can tell government is they should support the private sector, and not only Zoom Lion, even all the existing companies. Maybe buy a crowd 10 years ago. Now your companies are kase collapsing.
The companies are collapsing.
Baby are collapsing. If you currently assess, even the existing ones, and even including Zoom, governments now and so much here, it means they want to see all our Ghanaian companies collapse, which is not good. You keep saying private sector is the engine of growth, and then you come up with initiative, private sector invest so much, share equipment, need logistics, no means. They are specialized equipment. And this is a major contracts. What should they use them for? And now, you were mentioning figures.
The assemblies are now going back to rent from them.
You know, you were mentioning figures. Let me tell you, just as he said here, right now, the disaster that we've incurred, there has been flooding, lives have been lost, area Kosru, public health issues. And I keep asking, why would government want to rather put more into the curative than the preventive? So why is government putting so much money in national health insurance? Why would government look at their statistics? So these are the things that we keep saying that waste management is a science. So it's not like the figures you are mentioning. If you compare them to what the World Bank standards are, and even the countries that have been successful, those figures are peanuts. They are peanuts. What we need to understand as a nation is, when it comes to sanitation, a capital intensive. And the countries that have been successful, what did they do? They have a specialized finance, they ring-fenced money, and then supported the sector with tax waivers, what have you. Then when they made the gains, then they put them at a certain level. Ghana, we had made so much gains. We had statistical survey reports now. Sanitation had improved, the situation had improved, collection has improved, and we were making heads with just for the past 2 years.
Issues that is saying about.
We are calling our government, even the best time for us to work is in the night, not even during the day. And how can we have a 24-hour economy in operation, and then sanitation workers are still working during the day and struggling? I'll use this opportunity to call on government. They've reviewed the environmental sanitation policy. It's not, we don't have it in place, we don't have the reviewed one yet. And I know that one had a critical look at the private sector participation. With the private sector participation, the policy was on it, bounds that there's that enabling environment, that leverage. Even fee fixing, make us say, if you na your can fees na your cost recoverable. And companies means same run and efficient. It's baby adi a problem. In summary, no matter say you bet me a value chain and nobody wants to do land filling. And the crobian per se or obia company obia say not at my background obia here no one background. The internet say Ghana as a crown embradu segregation at the households. That is from the point of generation. Yaba farm run ye mokama and then yabenya ejuma bebre krama and then you see green jobs. That is where everybody is going. You see, think green. That is the innovation. That is where we are. Other countries almost 7 hours. Recyclable, reuse, rethink, repurpose, reinfrastructure. The hours are even Japan almost 24. And you admit that they are the cleanest in the whole world. We cannot arrive there without doing the right things. It's a management science. Until we have to also put it in place and do it practically. It is a yes, say you're treating your waste, say you fire waste, now say 60% organic. We should be turning that organic into compost. That's more refractions now can ye near recyclables, ye plastics, ye glass. Na kakra be kan na ya de ya landfill and international ye landfilling as say a problem but say na make say ye be say am I mean informal phone say nya baby into bolengu and transfer stations na wo krom nyina say and mate say ye bi achimota pent me support nkwala because Accra hankwan omoye 4,000 and almost sa Accra po temambaye ashamambaye Madina area mu ho kra ni ekosro ho ne emai nti ye besre sankombe support private sector na existing transfer stations na ho kra na ye hwe ni temtem ni MB na abanye den subsidized because eba ahunidi adwuma the rights of the citizens and aban wa said yes or be protected now. Nti eno ka ho ayesra aban onye dedicated funding baby sanitation is successful no there is always dedicated the government politics to say we polluters you say
they have to pay
extended producer responsibility. Nti aban crash should have an innovative way of getting those who are doing the mess to be responsible. That way we can generate a lot more revenue apart from certain 10%. Imagine we get all the polluters in this country properly mapped and then they are levied to be responsible for what they put out to be recycled, which is the good practice nationwide. That is done everywhere. No, it will go a long way. And funding shouldn't be a problem. Internally, money can be generated to
tackle the situation.
Yes, to tackle the situation.
Mame and now was saying na memfa unsi ha now ama ofori MPA Executive Secretary at the Environmental Service Providers Association ESPA speaking to us and we are so much grateful say utimi joining you best to for you come for us to talk more. My info unsi na yen try homra
Mankashi amfa galamsem no.
Oh, just 10 seconds per minute time.
Yes, na me mesre ni say yes rabbi omun committee to galamsem.
Okay.
Na yen hwe ni embranya sa ne ekoso no ebe ha krekesi pa.
Okay. Mami ntwa me homra yeba ama will leave us na afi me panel tere na aka no. Meba mami ntwa me homra na menye commercial break yeba we'll come to the NPP issues. Kennedy upon kasa na there is a whole lot of confusion. You have your time until you help us on the tackle now the tackle. Stay with me. I'll be right back after this break. Mamena was once again, W'asem Yie Suni on your TV. Me did the speaker now. A lot of conversation now here having around the sanitation situations and condition I war my Ghana. Benjamin Insia, Executive Director at the SEMSE. Now he's still here with me, and I think the Honorable Member of Parliament for Upper West Akim, right? And so Ewaha with me. Dr. Jonathan Asantioche is still here with me now. I mean, Canada, Japan, Dim Komona and Komono, Baby, no so many honorable. I was interested in that together with a dog. But remember, Ben. So, Ben, Mamin Shasi and free also. Mamin Tio.
Now, Kwame, what do you say?
Open source take it to sanitation.
Yes, issues, because politics there. Political scientist, Honorable Kasa. Dr. W'asem Yie mpese ye hwani.
Okay.
I think maybe anka Dr. Kasa ni kwan se me kasa because doctor there wadu ho. But I think that we have to address some of these issues. First of all, I think that say your business.
Yeah.
Right. Now your assumption is that labor should be more expensive compared to capex. Our assumption is wrong.
Okay.
That's correct.
Assumption is wrong. Capex are more expensive.
Capex near there.
Capital expenditure.
Okay. So that's almost
now beyond capex, there are also certain cost overruns are coming with capex and capex never. For example, say Zoom line what the contractor man. Now we use you 590 is kabia auto fuel. Maybe probably time I adjust for fuel no at the customer no. Now fuel be at 9 cedis.
Okay.
Today fuel is about 13 cedis.
With the trucks,
most of these trucks are even using diesel. It's about 16 Ghana cedis.
per liter.
Car. Each truck could cost almost $120,000 or more. Now, until so running some of these capex, now run cost benefit analysis, IR, internal rate of returns or net present value. Whereas I reckon Zoom line Oboka.
With the Juma now,
Oboka. We are not kind of one country. And the other challenge also is that government even delays in paying them.
Exactly. And up to now, government at the sanitation companies in the
yes, government delays in paying them. So when you do the cost benefit analysis, I think that capex will also always overrun the cost of labor. Right? Now, beyond that, Minia, Adibakwa masa hu about this whole contract. He said, "Oshe omusika na yesi edi momona."
Yes.
Me say na obosi 250 a month.
Yes, and only here for the sweepers.
For the sweepers.
Yes.
Okay. I think 250 no crown. Say ye emotions don't change, right? And look at the figures as they are. Even 250 is much.
Oh, Samu.
It's much. The entire maker says much. He say, "Abina no, no, just me ndiomo. Abina based on state policy develops what you call a minimum wage. Right? What is the minimum wage today? It's 22.
22 Ghana cedis.
22 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
22 Ghana cedis for 8 working hours.
Okay.
And this is 8 working hours for 22 Ghana cedis. Abina minimum wage, you know. Now say obi working 2 hours. Now 250. That's overpayment. I was saying Komaji akwa 165 Ghana cedis.
Averagely.
Averagely.
It means you are not valuing the job that they are doing.
It also means that government is not even valuing any job at all for putting minimum wage at 22 Ghana cedis a day, 8 working hours.
You said minimum.
Now 2.
Maximum.
That is why Oman had that minimum to pay them 165, rather they are paying them 250. And we are the money we are. You have alternative jobs. I know some people who were sweepers and also working on their farms or working as security personnel or working at and no the side attachment be na oje. So so the argument anytime say krom hanum no say asemba emotions no flare up too much. But to now year analysis ni always tia no create you broso. And we value the work they do. We value them. But if you look at the capex involved, no, now OG say I think that it's in a fair note, and we shouldn't blame Zoom Lion for some of these things. Now the other part I don't kaya, you see, assembly can never prioritize sanitation because assembly's responsibilities are many. Yes, the contract number can assembly honorable or MP can assemblies cough up
and or your ex-officio member of the assembly.
Assembly, okay. Can assemblies today, each assembly in Ghana here, cough up $10 million to procure logistics for cleaning? They can't.
It's not even
$10 million
close to their threshold.
Threshold. To me, you need a private person. Interest or kobo. And can I say near Mabafum Kakra interest used to be about 30%
for money.
Right? So I think that Zoom Line should not be blamed, and assemblies today cannot manage waste. It is the private sector that can manage waste. Because the private sector has the logistics, they have the infrastructure, they have the technical expertise to manage. And for that matter, the emotions say say emotions. Let's look at the figures carefully based on your own data in terms of minimum wage. Say increase we prioritize your personnel now because we think that you are creating jobs for your people now. Prioritize and say, okay, Zoom Lion. Now you know because you be at 300 and 400.
But then Zoom Lion crying to your moka.
The
payment comes from government. It is only in instances where a buying niska out the betia. Then Obeka say Ebia Zoom Lion do an advance payment. Sikaba na marine basin. Look at it has happened in so many.
Look at the cost involved. Kawabo. The man maybe Zoom Lion, they are not telling us Kawabo Kromo because as a business enterprise they want to protect or more environment so that we make us say Zoom Lion is not the right place to invest in. Into more can losses or more in care. But say we do Sikaba question abaimu at a time there no inflation. Be at 3% and I've been fast 5% and at 23%. Now inflation be 54% now buying piao. So I think that some of these waste issues never and the flood never economic loss, public health issues, areas, na yɛhwɛ all the simulations yɛhwɛ asɛm no krogin o yɛhwɛ mu krogin na yɛn discuss no devoid of emotions devoid of say yɛdwen sɛ obi gis kaketwa yɛhwɛ problem no that mean I think that assemblies cannot manage waste. It is all the private sector that can manage waste, and we must give them the opportunity to do their work as they've been doing always. Thank you.
Very well. Maybe I say, Mami try me honyen kra to him, meba a year honorable ne a year doc. So, Ben they say when it comes to the political issues or the day sanitation. So, yeba Kennedy Japan and the New Patriotic Party issues. No, Mami and try me home brasses here.
Cases don't going.
But I say once again, Mami Emra, honorable Mami Intio, meaning so what the Kennedy Japan, Akika so far, just on that. Now, member Doctor so.
Yo, speaker, me that say, me say, in case free chapter no so ba we dey disready.
At the time now condition, most I come back to sanitation now. That means you can wait.
Speaker, the TN say, only say, sad time in a nadmufu wo medjuma asori pa. Now so ma ketua aye bibibi.
Nadmufu
wo at the district level, there be no yes embakra about 15 months in here.
Embai
we dey disready mefa
Emotional.
mefa akonye zuna masre sector minister me say it's under Ministry of Interior Honorable Muntaka and Director General now one share because just a quick one danu say abridge ibuye 4 a.m. Now we mindu Abuja office 7:30 na report I already minister office cry na me print one am the chair minister no say wow this is good he's waiting for engineering assessment nti such a person na 15 months ni ntuane ka BBC na friend cry
but omo market to the free neighbor any controller
through Ministry of Interior I think so
Ebani say na
we are still following up but the American say woman yabotre na nationwide problem nationwide
but
the majority of them were recruited March last year you kitwe bi na afede asanches
omo ejeketo anu so omo aketu ama o
yenti minister anhwena anka onye na sabri yesi nsuafo bi a nasmo for omo ankope omo di abo
okay the omo
speaker me that say
omo ejenketo anu omo mum na omo aketu anakam
we are back to me say yemre no say ya uka yo nti yen kodi Kennedy eka no so na me say back to it no media I don't see any problem with that say nyaatwum no say nkrofo ne ye waka wanim so mo ye nyaatwum eye no kre esan say ye ba ye kura asa hospital ya ye papa broja jemfi koka ho asemi kura no hey no mato aduma ne ye wie aka 20% to say I don't have the figures of head but the way they were saying the
98%.
What you've abandoned the thing speaker you in engineering Is this different from other discipline? No? Because we Jawa project, we Jawa for so many years, a quite full. Speaker, the last time I hear cause a glimmy. Quite I did that asphalt, no. If you are any in Trino, Afa road na say across to the other side, my road na I say. Nina say yes, and they make it place, no habitable. They will have to reconstruct all those things. And it is a project the figure be a bar. That shouldn't be queried immediately. What assessment have we done? Have we been able to find out other factors that contributed to the money he's asking for?
Deputy Defense.
Yes. American hospital, military hospital, and yes. And if there are structural defects, the integrity tests have been conducted, and then everybody knows that no, the structure is not good. What about horizontal works? Drains near the idea, which we have to do now. And
what is government's position on site?
So far, there is a contractor on site. Okay. Yes, we've given part of it to a contractor on PPP approach. PPP. Yes, they have started. So very soon, Ghanaians will hear good news. Okay. Well, it is our dear way a cobaye and a cofa papa donation or can or could say, Moya Yachum. All Casas and Moya to no be Bunani, oh, honorable man Casa. And so no credit now I then. Wakana. And the Abadia, once the assessment have been done, the minister wouldn't have just get up and say, it will cost us 10 million, it will cost us 20 million. Definitely, there has been an engineering assessment. Studies have shown that before we bring back this thing to its normal state, this is how much. Yes. And then, no more picky, no more and then I say more fight CD now bafemono, and then I'm Juma. The speaker said, CD appreciation and a job creation, and yet the same Definitely, there will be some component that will play a dual role. But yeah, I want the public to understand that it is not about Yakofa where you who say a boy and who more than her. Now, person, Mumia, Chefem, say, Munyashi, the Muslim fight TCD. I didn't think that no does not warrant the outbuster, Kennedy, the new patriotic party. I saw Nadia who said, Yamibi Omuja, Uncle Yi, and then ono Finakume Mufine, and now, Odeniama Barbeche. The various hospitals. And it is why yes, our donation. Now I come back. I catch them and say, "And Niama Bakum Nubia, yeah. Now say also in some baby by June next year, say July next year now, Obeke Jegum. Then we see the true color of the MPP. Wow. It Niamani baby, I mean, to me, I don't have any problem with it. It was very straightforward, and the MPP must learn a lesson from that. Okay, thank you.
Doc, Dr. Jonathan Church, I mean, implications on the NPP with commentaries here, Mema mu showdown, Nadia Kikaka. Me who say a lot of the NPP communicators, rubbish now, making it look as if say Kennedy is a no figure in the
No, he has been very honest.
Election, we are embittered, but the general implication on the new patriotic party as a party, and it's saying, is this something as I say, you encourage in our body politicking?
Well, it is the view of the African Institute of Strategic Studies, and I say, Obakai, a baby Chamukwente, Biasana, Openi Frimpon, Professor Frimpon, Boating, I didn't send me to now. I'm say, young members of the party almost serve at the highest level. Some of them just rush into taking certain decisions without considering some kinds of effect. Young fan say, "Who see we opening from Pomboati free party anymore? What does he lose?" This is a colossus, and yet there Obabe Didia or Nasi say a camper party your position. Be here behind a free in home. Until say fast forward it, like for example, some of the young guys, the way they even speak to Dr. Naotamako, as if it's a time or no more former party no. No wedding fear say. A more former party, no wedding fear say. The likes of Justin Kodia, the national organizer, the deputy general secretary. Deputy General Secretary, sometimes the way he even speaks is just appalling. when you speak in the way they speak, the tone that they use against the elders of the party, that is not the kind of value system that Yegna Mete say Omampeni Mahama Samitrina, Minti Matran Dinatam. So Omampeni Akufo-Addo Mempena Samoa, Minti Matran Yede Endinatam in the name of politics. We need to cherish our value system. Now, say the ba ababesi openi Kennedy Swa. Aristotle talks, he says something about character consistency. This is a man who has developed a particular character within the public space, and he's been very consistent about that.
Okay.
So you either accommodate, adapt, or you ignore. And most often than not in our system, nobody will say, and probably say be ba, another thing comes into the fray, and we are good to go. Well, no, say reactions ever. I think that in terms of strategic communication, I would have expected the leadership into me if say MPP, NDC, if they are considering their next general secretary, these people should have had what we call, they should know what we call strategic communication. How much is too little? How much is more than necessary? What kind of information do you give into the public space and what you shouldn't? I don't know saying I say saying say koho. These are some of the things that they should measure. They should be philosophically oriented as well. Mia, the same way, we will communicate to all communication we for say.
Okay.
Nobody should respond. Look, Abranti FN Charles Opoku is written a petition.
Presido, yes.
Something like that. Well, he's young. I feel no over. Yeah, you want to trigger a particular, democratic process within the party. So we see to the end of it. And I mean, Bisa and Ra, I think Sister says tonight to say. I don't know if he did not see Abronye and why he didn't also write
a petition
against Abronye. Because they say, yeah, can't one more, I talk down to them and I have no pity, whatever they go through. Abronye is one.
He's number one.
What you say? People have had cause to mention, what about Kevin Taylor? Well, remember, Kevin Taylor is not in our jurisdiction. Wow, what's one for so? What you say? And sometimes he will have his own comic displays about some of the issues that he will talk about. But to the extent to say, what's your mind, you don't even have evidence and you're running down people's integrity, people's character. It doesn't work well in the name of politics. It is not right. What you say? Now, unse enchaye opening Dr. Bawumia. Adi ekuobi ebetuja assigning certain roles to colleagues are contesting. So if opening Kennedy is assembly have ebetuja, let's just say there wasn't any consultation with respect to that assignment. It also be there's this point. Has Dr. Bawumia really gained that maximum acceptability within the party? Like what we saw with President or that of President Akufo-Addo. There is something that the leadership will have to have an introspection. You see, it is not by accident to say MPP, their main strength is from their Akan background. It is not by accident. Maybe by formation here and there. Into they want to gain that nationalistic color and appeal. So they have tried Dr. Bawumia. They want to try him a second time and see. But as to what they say, the grassroots base, just how concept not to it's another problem. Because if you say percentage of what do we need, and yet, you see, when you want to have a firm grip, look at the percentage Mr. Mahama had. It means to say there isn't much faction within the NDC, but maybe after him, and maybe a faction, because Rawlings faction realized, no, this is their best bet. Men's faction realizes their best bet, and so on and so forth. So there was a need. That's why he had over 98%. But in the case of Dr. Bawumia, he has not been that fortunate. Is
that why Ken
because Ken still has some serious support within the party. I would say, party na modi tunu dada. Openi UP Alan atino hoko. Se nipa miensa we numu omoko. Se bane se openi Ken so ya ebe hadwe. But hono na make say, if all this vituperative attack on the MPP now Okoko join the base, I'll be disappointed, because that would have meant to say you wanted to create some credibility for that party, not that Ghanaianness that you've been preaching all these years. Ghana first, no. A better say, stay within that particular domain, so that you will still gain that high respectability. Just that, when you offer so a no. And a problem.
Okay, very well. Honorable, Mame, and now I say, just 1 second, Rebecca will be the
Tuesday, there is a done deal for us. In Ghana, you take it
Tuesday, yes, England.
As one of the countries, was welcome.
Oh, you're taking Dada.
Oh, I mean, within the sub-region. I'm talking about
the sub-region.
The continent.
Okay.
The continent.
But so far, say West African countries.
Oh, yes. 32, no,
when you're transparent, with ticket in our modern mangrove.
Yes.
Records any statistics shows over 900 people and access to the stadium. A stadium capacity of 48,000, majority of them Panama.
But England, there will be challenges. Going forward, we can remedy.
Going to England game, no ticket ahead and matches so far. Abai should be transparent enough to tell Ghana for say ticket to do ayatollah. Maybe a 5,000 yet me procure 5,000 no ye chim for all the 3 group stage games. But up to now,
I am sure
Ghana for us to be do not ticket in the hall. So why mon amode ticket in the mawo?
I had a kuma a friend free US and right. Say me ticket in manual.
Because in Canada, honorable, over 50,000 Ghanaians are in Canada and a submit your money. Want me a movie ticket.
Canada,
US, more external chapter US, NDC external chapter. Mama Omwatro Mudi Besin there. Yeah, say still Ubi a ticket. So why mon ticket? No,
Sabai and year. This will be their first scandal. This could.
I didn't say it was. I said next week most of the ministers will be coming to the floor to answer questions. But Mijidi said coming down to group level 32, 16. So just that going forward. We have a very good coach. And our guys are
there's a lot of questions. You baby sir in this country, maybe a scanner already must say $6 million for the group stage, which includes ticket purchases. And it's a ticket name. There is a lot of question to be asked.
Because when you say you cannot go away with a city without accounting for it. So
that one is
thank you. Now, executive director at the W'asem Yie Benjamin Insi. I mean, I say we did a Kwame Mr. Speaker. I mean, first that be my director, my team, no, led by Nana Kwame Obey and the camera crew. Thank you so much. Say Oje Bre na utie na Oshe. I don't me any other sene. Yebesan so anywhere there she sharing so Juada kosi fiada obenye live ewo Onia TV yensempa so na afe anywhere di Ghana honkomo. Good morning and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Yakra mo nyina.
Onuye